What's going on YouTube? Dannydecks here. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to do a very in-depth analysis and guide for the deck we're going to be playing today, which is Darkness. Now, if you're already comfortable and familiar with this deck, feel free to skip ahead. And if you're not, then I will have everything in the timestamps, indicating what's going on. So I want to go over the cards that make up the core of the deck, which isn't as many as you may think, the spells that you can add to the deck, as well as the units, an example deck, and then I will show my own version of Darkness and some gameplay examples. If this is the type of content you guys like, drop a comment and let me know. I do think that there is a lack of in-depth deck analysis. A lot of the times, the decks will just be like, oh, here's the deck, and then they go. And I think understanding the deck and why the cards are in there and the choices you made is very important. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Darkness as a deck it seems simple on the surface, but it's actually a very tricky deck to play, and there's a lot of decisions that you make before you even enter the game, and that's in the terms of what cards you're going to bring. And in the game, there's a lot of decisions to be made as well. Oftentimes with the deck, you are walking a fine line between life and death till you get to the point where you can win. So I thought it was pretty important that I go over all the possible cards. It is going to be a very, very long introduction and deck guide. It's probably be like 30 plus minutes of me just going over how the deck works, what cards fit in it, and when to use which cards, etc. So if you're not interested in that, skip ahead. Or if you're interested in certain aspects of it, all of those things will be listed in the timestamps below.
There is nowhere left to go but up.
Now, as I previously stated, today I'm going to be playing Darkness, and my goal is to get to the top, or get to Masters with Darkness. That's what I'm hoping to do. I do want to go over the actual Darkness deck because it can vary, and I think it's a very powerful deck. So it's very versatile and very powerful when played well. It's a staple, especially in tournament scene. So I think it's really important that you understand the deck and that you understand how to make the choices within the deck. So today I'm going to be just going over that, all the different stuff you can add, and the core of the deck, how to play it, when to switch it, etc. That out of the way, let's get into the very first part. So this is what I am going to call the core of the deck. Now, the numbers are obviously not always going to have to be threes. So you can drop a Extali is common to drop. Some people like to drop a Dark Bulb. Some people like to drop a Robe Stiltmaker. But nonetheless, any Darkness deck is going to have these cards. This is your bread and butter. This is what the deck is all about. Twisted Catalyzer, super important. You want to make sure that you're getting this ASAP so that you can build up your Darkness. The difference between a 2 damage Darkness and a 3 damage Darkness is like night and day. Just insanely better if you even get one hit off with this. So having this early game will dramatically increase your chance to win. Honestly, this card is just, it makes the deck really work, I would say. And you want to get a Catalyzer ASAP. Games where you have a Catalyzer are going to be significantly better than games where you don't. That doesn't mean that if you don't get a Catalyzer, you can't win. That's not the case. It's just that important. It's a very important card. Dark Ball Backlight, pretty straightforward. This just generates us a Darkness if we don't already have one. And it has Augment, which means anytime you cast a Darkness, he's going to grow 1 power. Stilted Robe Maker, this reduces the cost of your Darkness by 1. So your Darkness will go from 3 to 2 to 1 to 0. And the number of copies you run is entirely dependent on you. I do think he is fairly beefy at 3-4. Like, he's a 4-mana unit, so he's not the best at 3-4, but he's pretty resilient, so he's not a bad card overall. And the same way with Catalyzer, reducing the cost of your Darkness is going to increase its effectiveness significantly. Being able to cast for 2 instead of 3 means that is the difference between being able to cast 2 for 6 mana and casting 3 for 6 mana. It's a pretty big deal. And obviously you can, reduce it to 1 or 0, and then you're just throwing them out like crazy. Veigar basically is your finisher / the way to grow another way to grow your Darkness. It's very tricky because everyone knows that you have to kill this card immediately, so when playing against Darkness, they will often leave their turn 4 open so that they can kill your Veigar, and that makes sense, right? You can't leave this on the board. If you ever get an unanswered Veigar, you pretty much just win the game. He's very difficult to stop once he gets rolling. Now, Veigar, at the end of each turn, he's going to generate you a Darkness. When Veigar levels up, he's going to let you shoot face with the Darknesses, and every single round you're going to generate another Darkness and be able to shoot face. Senna. So Senna, basically, she generates you a Darkness when you play her, same as Veigar, but every single time she attacks, she generates a Darkness. And she increases the speed of your spells from slow to fast. So she speeds up your Darknesses, she speeds up her own signature spell, she speeds up Ruinations. Senna's super important. She lets you just, pump out a ton of Darknesses, shoot them off, and she's just very tricky to deal with if you don't have straight up removal for her. And then Ixtali Sentinel, this is a finisher, a healer, a level up Veigar, all in one. When you play it, it gives you a Darkness if you don't have one. The next Darkness you cast that turn will also target their face directly. So if you have Veigar that's leveled up, this means you can target their Nexus and shoot 2 to the face. If you don't have a Veigar on the board that's leveled up, or your Veigar is not leveled up, you will still benefit as if you shot 2 Darknesses, so she levels up your Veigar very quickly. Not to mention, she is a 4-attack lifesteal unit, so she does help you come back in games. A lot of times you're going to fall behind, you're going to play Ixtali Sentinel, and she can get you back in the game with her lifesteal and her thick body. That's basically the core of the deck. The idea is you want to stall, build up your Darkness, and then once you kind of have your machine running with something like Senna or even your Veigar, you can just start removing things constantly, build up your Darkness, and then just blow them out with Darknesses to face. Let's get into the spells of the deck. So, I have a list of 20 different spells. Now, the way this deck really works is, outside of your core, you can really run whatever you want. There's always going to be cards that are better than others, of course, and there's always going to be stuff that's typically ran. So I will show you a typical list after, but first I just want to go over all of your tech choices. So you have the option to play any one of these cards, and it really depends on what you think you need, what you're up against, and how you want to play, how you prefer to play. Go hard. Go hard can be really good against aggressive stuff or slow stuff, depending on how you're going. So go hard, basically, if you're playing go hard, you want to end up with a more draw heavy deck, so you can constantly pump them out. However, go hard is always a solid option, especially paired with Senna. I don't personally play go hard in this deck, but it has been known to be played, and it can be an effective option, especially since it also heals you. Group Shot. Group Shot is just a 1-mana ping. This really helps against aggro, and it lets you break spell shields. And that's basically it. If there's a lot of spell shield in the meta, you want as many pings as possible, and if there's a lot of aggro in the meta, you want as many pings as possible, which is why you would run Group Shot in that situation. If the meta were to be slow, you wouldn't run Group Shot. Mark of the Isles, this one's a little bit niche, and this is this is more a spell that you actually could take off Conchologist if you run a Conchologist, as opposed to something I would really consider adding into my deck. However, there are situations for it if you want to play really aggressive, or if you are against a shitload of aggro. Mark of the Isles can let you trade up into Fearsomes. So if you're running into Fearsomes and you're having a hard time with that, you can play, a lower to the ground curve with some of the cheaper units and Mark of the Isles in order to trade up into big stuff. I wouldn't really recommend it. This is super niche, but it can be an option. Glimpse Beyond, pretty much kill an ally, draw 2. This is just standard draw for Shadow Isles. This is usually included in the deck. Pokey Stick, same idea. It's a ping and it draws. This is also usually included in the deck. Unspeakable Horror, this is a little bit of a variation. Now, if there is a lot of aggro, you're running into a ton of stuff, and you want additional pings, this is a good option, especially since if you play it as Nightfall, it does replace itself with a random Nightfall card. This is a decent tech choice if you really, really feel like you need the healing and extra pings. Vile Feast. Vile Feast is usually pretty standard in the deck. Not mandatory, but it's pretty good. I mean, it does 1 damage, makes a spiderling, gives you 1 health. That's really what you're looking for. Now, some people have run Lightning Rush. I just think that Lightning Rush is going to be outclassed with the new card that came out, and I'll show you guys that later. However, it can be a good option off Conchologist if you ever get it. Basically, it lets you recall to deal 2 to anything. If you want to play a very aggressive list, you can run Lightning Rushes, because this deck doesn't have to necessarily be super slow. You can run it a little bit quicker, and Lightning Rush will let you deal damage. It also lets you play a little bit of a control when they go to kill your units. So this could be a way to protect your units, like your key ones, such as Veigar, Senna, or whatever else. You could use it to potentially replay Ixtali Sentinels, even Stilted Robemaker. It is a decent option for protection, but I do think it is going to be outclassed by Transposition. Mistcall. A lot of people like to run this card. Not always in lists. Definitely not usually a 3 of, maybe a 1 or a 2. Basically, the gist of it is you bank 3 mana, play Veigar on 4 with the 3 mana banked, and then you can Mistcall, which will revive your Veigar. Or your Senna, depending on what you want to do, but it has other uses as well. It can revive Rekindlers, it can revive Ixtalis, whatever the case. Mistcall is a great option. This is pseudo protection for your champions. The one thing you need to be aware of when you play Mistcall is that you get a random ally that died. So if you have multiple allies on the board and you go for a Mistcall, they can always just kill like a Spiderling, and then you're basically rolling the dice if you hit the Spiderling. Stalking Shadows. So I actually believe Stalking Shadows is very good in this deck if the meta was slow. Now, if you're playing a slow meta, this card is really good here because it lets you pick up additional copies of Ixtali, additional copies of Dark Bulb, Acolyte, even Rope Maker's not bad. You can reduce the cost of your darkness significantly, and Rekindler, all kinds of stuff. If the meta was slow, this card's very good in the deck because it's going to let you basically not only tutor for the card that you're looking for, but it will give you an additional copy. And there's a lot of summon effects in this deck that are very good, and this will let you do it. I don't think it's the right meta for it. However, we will see when the dust finally does settle. I'm going to wager it's not going to settle into a heavy control meta, but this is something to be aware of. If you're running into a control meta, Stalking Shadows is a great option in this deck. Stress Defense. This card is twofold good. This card is good to protect your own units. This card is also good to reduce OTKs. There are a lot of OTKs going around at the moment with Papercraft Dragon, for example. Even the Trundle Concurrent Timelines deck is somewhat OTK-ish, and this card will essentially turn them into a 1/6. They put all their eggs in their basket, and they try to swing in for one giant hit with their double strike, and you can stress defense them. So you can protect your units, or you can make it so that their units can't OTK you. I think Stress Defense is always a solid option in this deck. Wallop, this is a newer card. I'm not too sure. I haven't really experimented with Wallop. I did experiment with pretty much most of these other cards while making this video. It's basically just a 3-mana stun with ping attached. I don't really know what the purpose of the ping is, but maybe you can Wallop into Whale and it could be worth something. But yeah, I could only see Wallop being playable. Depends on what the meta is shaping up to be. This would be very good against stuff like Pantheon. If Pantheon was really prevalent, if there's a ton of Pantheon going around, I would definitely consider running Wallop for sure, just to slow him down a little bit since we need to buy time for our game plan. The box. Now the box is just typical Shadow Isles removal. Basically what we're doing with the box is we're looking to use it to kill stuff like Gnar, Dactyl, really anything that comes down. It's good against scouts as well if they get greedy and they flood the board. So pretty much an anti-flood card, and can be used, it's kind of hard to use properly, honestly. I'm not the biggest fan of the box, but I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I seem to always play into it like a noob, but my opponents never play into this card, and it ends up just being 4 mana deal 3. So yeah, if you like the box and you're good with it and you feel like it's a good call, obviously you can run it. Transposition. This is one of the newer cards that's actually really good in this deck. So being able to recall your Veigar or your Senna or literally any card that you want to protect and then play it again for free, insane. This card is actually really good in this archetype, and it is better, in my opinion, than stuff like the lightning rush, even potentially stress defense if your whole purpose is to protect your unit. I don't know if it's strictly better than Mist Call. It's a toughie. This basically lets you guaranteed get the unit back, whereas, Mist Call doesn't. And this can be countered by, being on the stack and they just kill your unit anyways. So this isn't bad, and I would consider running maybe at least one copy of this. It's pretty good card in this deck, and it really goes that extra mile for protection. Not to mention, if you were to recall your Veigar, you can shoot the darkness in your hand, play it, get another darkness. It's just pretty solid. And like with Rekindler, you can get multiples, etc. Withering Whale, deal one to everything. If there's a lot of weenie stuff on the board, same type of stuff. If you're looking for extra pings, this is basically a board-wide ping. It gives you a little bit of healing. Just great against aggro and go-wide stuff. So the Yordle and Arms type decks tend to have a lot of 1 HP units, and this is good against them. This is okay against Scouts. Scouts have Ranger's Resolve, which makes it a little bit tricky to do. However, if they don't have a Ranger's Resolve, this is very good against Scouts as well. Hidden Pathways, this card got nerfed. It's just basically draw 2. You're going to be creating cards and playing created stuff, so it's very easy to activate. This card will always be 4 mana in this deck. Problem is 4 mana draw 2 is, like, I guess it is the standard rate. It just doesn't feel that great. Prefer Glimpse Beyond. If you really feel like you need the juice, you can run both. Now, Minimorph is the typical removal in the high end. The next couple cards are basically your high-end removal. I almost prefer Minimorph because Minimorph... So there's a strength and weakness to Minimorph and Vengeance, and it's not really about the Mini-T at all. Minimorph instantly stops something. So like a Lee Sin trying to combo you, Minimorph, boom, done. There's no deny, there's no spell shield, there's no getting around it. Whereas Vengeance can be denied, and that's a big issue. Anything at slow speed is susceptible to deny or Rite of Negation, and ends up being, a really feels bad and you lose. So heavy control decks in Ionia and potentially Shurima can stop your Vengeances, where Minimorph cannot be stopped. Minimorph is good against OTK stuff because, like, especially Fizz, so you can just Minimorph them and then chump block them, and it's like, haha. The downside to Minimorph is if they already have Spell Shield. So if the meta is full of Spell Shield, you have to ping before you can Minimorph. And the problem is you cannot do that on the stack. So this is where Vengeance actually is better than Minimorph. And this is putting the 3/3 aside. If they're attacking in with a Ruined Runner that has Spell Shield and it's going to kill you, Minimorph won't help you because you're just going to break Spell Shield with the Minimorph. Whereas you could potentially Group Shot, Pokestick, whatever, to pop the Spell Shield all on the stack with the Vengeance. Now, of course they can Rite of Negation that, but I'm just saying. So they both have their niches. I kind of still prefer Minimorph anyways. Maybe it's I just hate Lee Sin. I think Lee Sin's so cheesy. And having the ability to not get just straight up counterspelled feels much better. And that's why I prefer Minimorph. However, Vengeance does remove the unit completely. Also, Vengeance, they can play a Spell Shield on top. Whereas Minimorph, once you cast it, it's done. Like, if you only had 6 mana, you go for a Vengeance, they play Friendship or Bastion, and you're just like, oh no, I'm dead. So they're both like, they're both good. Piercing Darkness, this is just straight up anti-aggro tech. With Senna on the board, this becomes fast speed. That's really it. I would only consider playing this card if there wasn't too many combat tricks in the meta and the decks were very mid-rangey or fast. If everything's mid-range or fast, I would consider adding a Piercing Darkness or two, just because I wanted the extra healing. I don't know if it's necessary, however, there is the situation for it. As we talked about Vengeance, I don't recommend running Vengeance and Minimorph unless you want to split 3 copies between 2 and 1 or 1 and 1 or whatever your allocation is. I just would definitely not run 3 and 3. That's just too heavy. If the meta was super slow, sure. It's definitely not slow enough to be running 3 Minimorph, 3 Vengeance. Ruination. Normally you run Ruination as like a one-off. That's it. Senna plus Ruination, you can cast it at fast speed. This isn't an auto include in this deck, however, it is pretty darn good combo if you have Senna and you need an oh shit emergency button. So normally people will run 1 Ruination, 2 at the most. I don't think people would run 3. I would consider doing, basically between 0 to 1 is the normal Ruination rate. So those are all the spells, and essentially when you're building your deck, you want to combine the core with the spells, and then I'm going to go over the units, and we combine all of those, and we get ourselves the deck. So, some of these are going to be not a typical list, and I will show you a typical list. However, a lot of these units have very specific uses, and they're very useful. So we'll start off with Burgeoning Sentinel, and we'll actually just do the double Sentinels together. Now, these cards are going to give you a lot more early game pressure than other setups. This is going to also allow you to fight against Bandle Tree. Now, Bandle Tree is pretty prevalent, and you want fearsome units. They don't really have fearsome blockers, and anytime they play a fearsome blocker, you can remove it. This is going to force them to have to use their removal on your Sentinels, otherwise you will race them down using Burgeoning Sentinel and Buru Sentinel, since they really can't block them with Bandle Tree. That opens up your Veigar. If they're spending all the resources to kill your Sentinels, your Veigar might get some breathing room and level up, and then you can kill them that way. It's not like you're going to just win against Bandle Tree because you added these cards. However, this does actually put pressure on them, whereas otherwise you just auto-lose to Bandle Tree. So that's one of the reasons you can run these. They also just apply early pressure, and if you need to fight heavily on the board, it's nice to have some units that are beefy and can fight. Hapless Aristocrat. This is not really standard, but it's kind of anti-aggro tech. This card just mucks up the board, and it's super annoying for your opponents to deal with it. So if you are facing a lot of non-fearsome, non-overwhelm decks that are very aggressive and want to go wide, like a Bandle deck without Bandle Tree, Hapless Aristocrat is great. He's perfect there. He chump blocks a lot of stuff, and he actually trades into a lot of the weaker units. He trades into the Bomb Lady, trades into Loping Telescope, trades into Boom Baboon, all kinds of stuff. So basically, Hapless Aristocrat is like an anti-aggro tool, and it's very useful in this deck. It's also good fodder for your Glimpse Beyond. Otterpuss. This is a interesting one. If there's a lot of spell slingy decks and mid-rangey stuff, mid-range / control, Otterpuss can be a great addition. It basically repays itself in the mana, so you don't fall behind on mana when playing Otterpuss, and it gives you the prank that you can use whenever you want. You could potentially prank before you play a Veigar to make your Veigar safer. A lot of implications this card has, and in the right meta, it can be very good, not to mention it also mucks up the board. So Otterpuss can be a solid choice if you want to go that route, and if you are running into a lot of spell slinger, slower decks. Conchologist. Now this is this card that's actually pretty much standard in the deck. You don't have to run it. You really don't have to run anything outside of the core. The rest is just all up to you how you want to play it. But Conchologist is a standard staple in this deck just because he's so good. There's a ton of good cards he gets, not to mention he is a body to put on the board that trades somewhat okay. So he's just really a staple in the deck. Loping Telescope. This is not the same type of staple as Conchologist, especially since it has only 1 HP. However, for the same purpose of generating additional card value and playing the early game so you can get to the late game, Loping Telescope can also be a pretty decent option. It is not usually run. This isn't a typical card choice. However, it's not, out of, it's not insane to run Loping Telescope. It does happen, and people do like to play it. Minion, I don't know if I would ever run 3 copies of Minion in the deck. However, you can definitely run 1 or 2 if that's what you like to do. Minion has the ability to basically, against very aggressive decks, he will just keep being replayed. So something like, let's say, the Fae deck that's going around, where they're just making a ton of the Faes. Minion can be great there, although he is going to constantly trade down into their 2/1 Faes. He will just keep replacing himself, and you have an endless unit that you always have something to do. He just helps you muck up the board the same way Hapless Aristocrat does, and he also gives you an outlet for Glimpse Beyond. Can be a very good option. I would probably only run 1, maybe 2 minions if I was going to add it into the deck. Bandle City Mare. Now, Bandle City Mare, basically, you can play the deck similar to almost like just a typical Bandle deck, right? And you can go like a go-wide strategy where you rely on the late game of the Darknesses to kill stuff. So Bandle City Mare isn't really too far-fetched to consider running. If you really wanted to go with a swarmy archetype, you could easily run Mare with Telescope, with Conchologist, with like Aristocrat or even Otterpuss, and then all of a sudden you have like endless units, right? You just keep spitting stuff out on the board, and you can just buy yourself time. So this is definitely a reasonable option if you want to play that style of deck. Boomer Sentinel we talked about. So Solari Sentinel, I did actually run into someone playing this in their Darkness deck. I found it very odd. I actually lost to them, but I don't think Solari Sentinel was the difference maker. Sometimes when you're playing a mirror match, it just really comes down to, who got their catalyzers or who got their champions. There's a lot of other factors to the mirror match than who's playing Solari Sentinel. So I personally don't like this card in the deck. It just is an extra way to generate a darkness. If you're having a hard time generating darknesses, it's a little bit odd. There's tons of ways in the core package. However, this can be a fearsome blocker baseline that generates you a darkness, so it is always an option. I just don't think it's a very good one. Yordle Captain. So Yordle Captain is kind of in the same vein of the Mayor combo. If you want to play a bigger, swarmier deck, Yordle Captain fits perfectly. He also buffs your Veigar to 5, which is pretty big, along with your Senna. So Yordle Captain was run in the deck alongside the Yordle Explorer before it got nerfed. I don't necessarily think Yordle Captain needs to be in the deck or anything. Like, definitely not. It's not standard. However, there is always the potential if you want to play a more swarmy Darkness deck, Yordle Captain fits perfectly, and he buffs your champions. Rekindler. This card is basically standard. You don't have to always run Rekindler. A lot of lists will run, honestly, anywhere between 0 to 3. So I've seen lists that run 0, I've seen lists that run 3, but I think typically you run 1 or 2. Rekindler basically just revives your champions. Knowing how to play the Rekindler, and what I mean by that is if you want to revive your Veigar, you can't let your Senna die, right? Otherwise, Rekindler will summon Senna. But yeah, Rekindler's pretty solid, pretty standard card. Now, Destinata. I am personally not a fan of this card. I just think at 8 mana, it comes down a little bit late. The problem is, I think this is a very good tech choice for a mid-range meta. If the meta is very, very mid-rangey that lets you get to 8 mana, sure, Destinata can be good. The problem I have with it is if you have your darkness to a high enough damage that you're going to wipe the board, I feel like you've already won. So, I don't know. It does come down and threaten to end the game, though. So, like, you play your Destinata, you wipe the board with your free darkness, and then you attack for 7. Like, it is pretty cool. It just feels a little bit heavy at 8, and the deck already has a hard time getting rolling, and you need to get going in order to be able to achieve your goal. So drawing this card will always feel bad. It literally does nothing until turn 8, so, it's one of those. Commander Ledros. Now, Commander Ledros is not a standard inclusion in the deck. However, Commander Ledros is just good. I think he's better than Destinata personally, especially since Destinata doesn't actually hit face. I wouldn't really run Commander Ledros, however, it is a good option if the meta was very slow, which already favors you technically. Either way, Commander Ledros comes down, halves their health, makes it way easier to close them out with darkness, and he's a just constant recurring threat. If you end up in a grind battle, Ledros will be good. So if you're finding yourselves grinding constantly in these long games and it's coming down to a battle of resources, Ledros would be a great fit. So if it ever gets to the point where it's all about who has more resources and, you're like top deck versus top deck, that's the kind of games that Ledros is going to be solid in. Otherwise, I wouldn't really include him. So that is the core with the spells and the units. Now, with all 3 of those, you basically jumble them up and you make a list. And that's the gist of Darkness. Alright, so my deck. After playtesting for, I don't know, last couple days, just at least 100 plus games, I've been crushing it. With only Darkness, I've tried all the different combinations that I've went over. I've tested all the cards. I found this list to be the most successful for me, and this is through trial and error. Mostly error, obviously, because, if I was winning, then I wouldn't be where I am. But I have been winning with this combination of cards, and I'm finding it super effective. I opted to go with, 2 group shots, break spell shields, good against aggro, 2 Dark Ball Backlights as opposed to 3. Basically, I don't really want to play this card early game unless I really, really have to. So it just kind of takes up a spot. It's mainly a Darkness generator down the road, and potentially a Fearsome blocker if I need it to be when I proc augment. 2 Glimpse Beyond. I don't feel like I have enough units that I want to glimpse, and glimpse doesn't always feel safe. So since it's a clunky card, I want to eliminate clunky cards. I am playing a higher end in this deck, so I eliminated a whole lot of extra utility cards, which can seem odd, but yeah, I'm not running too much utility, if any utility at all. So Glimpse Beyond was one of those cards that just had to go. 3 Pokes, 3 Feasts, 3 Catalyzers, 3 Rope Makers, all standard. I went with the 2 Box, 2 Whale. The Box, it kills Gnar, that's really it. You can occasionally get some value out of this card if your opponent misplays, but I don't really find that's too often, at least from where I'm at in the ladder. In Masters, your opponents don't play into the box very often. It does occasionally happen. It's just a lot of the times they don't, so you don't really get too much value out of this. However, I just needed to include it because I needed a way to kill Gnar that's reliable, since my Darkness won't always be at 3 on turn 4. Obviously, Veigar Senna. 2 Withering Whales. This is good against the Yordle and Arms decks, Scouts, and aggro. It's really it. It's also a ping, and it's good against Draven too, because Draven has a lot of 1 health units. So, basically an anti-aggro card that can also break Spell Shield. Yes, I understand that this card is weak to Ranger's Resolve, but the idea is you get them to cast Ranger's Resolve earlier by pinging 1 health units and seeing if you can trick them into using it. Depending on your opponent, they may or may not use Ranger's Resolve poorly, which will open you up to this. So, it's good against those decks. Stally Sentinel. I'm only running 2. So I just found that this card can be a little bit heavy, especially since you actually want to cast the Darkness it generates, which means you want to have, I guess technically minimum of 7 mana when you play it, if you got your Darkness down to 1 cost, but more likely it's at 2 cost at that point. So you need 8 mana to play this and be effective. The lifesteal is great, the body is great, the effect is great, it's a great card. Just wasn't a reliable way to heal. It's easy that they can just chump block this and cast Noxian Fervor or whatever. Good finisher, good way to progress your Darkness, good beefy body to just play, great effect. Just a little bit heavy since I'm already playing pretty heavy deck. 2 Minimorph, 2 Vengeance. I split this into 2-2. They serve the same purpose but different roles at the same time. So essentially, Minimorph will get Fizz. It will get Lee Sin. Viego's non-existent. Scion's also in the meta. Or even Pantheon. So anytime you think, if the opponent can react to your Vengeance, Minimorph is better. If the opponent is going to spell preemptively spell shields or already has spell shield, then Vengeance is better. And that's really it, because with Vengeance you can actually put 2 cards on the stack, Group Shot, then Vengeance, and then Group Shot breaks spell shield, Vengeance kills it. Whereas with Minimorph you don't have that luxury, you need to actually break the spell shield beforehand. So they serve a similar purpose, but for different things. And there's a lot of OTK going around, and you need to be able to stop any OTKs, because OTKs are super cheesy and extremely easy at the moment. It's basically play Overwhelm unit, play Paper Dragon, win the game. And if you can't stop that, you just lose. And that's why I'm running 2 and 2, so I can catch all in either situation. Rekindler. We're only running 1 copy of Rekindler. Basically just an extra way to get our champions back, as well as a decent turn 7 power play. Later in the game, you're going to often have these longer drawn out games where you have to play your champions because you don't want to lose, and you play them and they die. The game gets grindy, and each hand has dwindled down, and then you get your Rekindler and you're like, game over, right? Because you play your Rekindler when both players are out of resources, and he gives you the champion, and you're good to go. So that's all I'm running one. Running 2 Ruination. So I recommended not running more than 2. I went with the top end here. Basically, I found that I tried 0 Ruinations and 1 Ruination, and the games where I drew my 1 Ruination then I needed it, it felt really good, so I added a second copy. There's a lot of matchups where the opponent at the moment is going to be playing something like Yordle in Arms, where they're going to puke out their hand. Like there's Yordle in Arms, aggro, even like Faded. Faded doesn't run that many units, and if you Ruinate them, they're dead. Basically all that stuff. So Scouts is another good one. Turn 5, you bank 3. They play Cithria on 6. You Ruinate, you laugh in their face because now they have like 2 cards in hand, and you just cleared their board. Usually you benefit more from Ruination, even if you give them priority to develop afterwards, because your units are like way more effective than theirs, and you have like this endless removal through Darkness generation. So the hypothetical situation would be, you Ruinate on 6, they develop 2 units and attack you, and you don't die. Then you play Senna, and all of a sudden, kill a unit, attack, kill a unit, and then they have nothing left in hand. So that's kind of where I found Ruination to be key. Even Lurk, this is great against Lurk, especially on their Rek'Sai turns. They want to develop Rek'Sai, obviously, and you know when they have Rek'Sai because it triggers. You just wait for Rek'Sai, you play Ruination, kill their whole board, and it's game over. So I opted to go with 2. When you want it, when you need it, you really want to have it. And if you don't need it, it's always a good failsafe. Worst case scenario, it just acts as like a big vengeance. So, yeah. Also, this catches Fizz. That's another very important thing about Ruination, is it will kill Fizz, and Fizz is very tricky to deal with. So yeah, that's the deck. Please be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment below, and let's get into the games. Alright, Zoe Lee. This is always an interesting game. I mean, obviously Lee Sin can just one combo you. And Zoe can generate him Spell Shield. I think I cut all of this. I'm looking for a Catalyzer. He doesn't have good answer to Catalyzer. Didn't hit it. He also doesn't have a good answer to Veigar, so I can just slam Veigar on 4. Oh, Catalyzer plus Veigar. Dope. Okay. That sucks. Very much sucks. Alright, well, I don't have a good answer to Zoe at the moment. So only that's not good. Command darkness. Only I. To be fair, he might actually just be forced to trade Zoe into this. My mind's a wonder. Nope. Yes. If he lets my darkness just get huge, like I'm okay with that. So he's probably going to look for silence. And then he silences this card. Pass. He's looking for it. I think he's going to play it again. He wants to find that silence. Oh, what's he got for 4? Okay, moon weapons. Sure. So many cards already, jeez. Well, that's not good. I can just play Veigar and shoot a darkness at the Zoe now, though.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
Could just play the Dark Stilted Robe Maker.
Never joust with genius.
Let's attack first. Puts darkness at 4. See if we can get him to commit. If he commits anything, then I'm pretty sure we kill his Zoe. He does not commit anything. Unfortunate. But, you know. Oh, wow. Okay, so this means he's gonna have Nopify. Oh, or spell shield. Okay. Going for the Zoe level. Commendable. We'll just kill this. Alright, I don't know how we're gonna deal with this if we don't draw a ping. Game, just give me a ping so I can kill it.
I want my head, and I want it now.
Lord Veigar.
I mean, we can
cannot
probably
perfection.
kill him through it, but his Lee Sin's gonna come down. Man, this sucks. Oh, he's gonna kill it with Zoe. No. No. That also means Zoe's going to 7. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Ah, the Vile Feast. Wonderful. I think it's too late for me to stop Zoe, quite honestly. I might even just have another spell shield on top of this one, and then I just can't do anything. May very well be too late to stop the Zoe. Zoe's leveled. There's no way I can stop it. He's gonna have Deny also, most likely. Or like, he'll have a Nopify. Well, I gotta go for it, but he's likely to have Nopify or Twin Disciplines here. Oh my god, I killed his Zoe. He was so close to leveling it. That was huge. I'm glad I went for it and I didn't just give up. Just, like, assume Zoe was dead. Alright, this puts us in a really good position. Having the Rekindler also to pick up a Veigar.
Guide you, my brethren.
So likely what I do here is actually play this, shoot another Darkness. Next turn I can revive Veigar, and hopefully he sticks on the board and I can win the game with him. So he can't play Lee, which is good. Alright, this is okay. So I think what I do here is I play Catalyzer first. I open attack, and I know I'm going to be open attacking into the Eye of the Dragon. I just want to encourage my opponent to play stuff. Oh my god, Senna is really nice too.
Spotlight on me.
So yeah, I want to encourage him to spend his mana, so hopefully Veigar will be safe. Ideally 6 mana. Or sorry, ideally I want him to go below 6 mana, so that way he can't obliterate my Veigar. Okay, so he's got 6 mana. I need... So I can only spend 4 mana here.
The dragon's fury.
I mean, I go for it. I go for it, I just play the Veigar. thing is, if he obliterates Veigar, I kill Lee Sin, so kind of got to pick his poison here. It's a tough one. Definitely go face, actually. Definitely want to go face with this. Okay, he's taking it. Alright. Kinda smart, I suppose. That's not good for us. So he needs to find enough mana here to kill me. He can, because it doesn't really take all that much. So we go for Vengeance right away. This way we put him at 16 damage. If he denies this, he can only... Okay, we got him. Nice. Because yeah, if he were to deny that, right, he only gets 2 additional mana. And at 2 additional mana... Oh, this is good.
Astounding.
Yeah, definitely going to play this right now. So yeah, if he goes to 2 additional mana, that means that he can't really OTK me, right? Best he can do is +3, which puts him at 8. 8 is obviously not good enough. We're looking to prank here. See if we can get like something pretty juicy out of his hand. Like that doesn't do anything. I actually think...
What is gained when we return malevolence?
No, I don't have enough mana for that, so let's see what he's got. +2 on this, sure. He's likely got to deny. Second Senna is good. I think what I do is this. Get him to deny. All right. Actually play Senna then.
Guess I'm the big guns now.
You have a bounce? Don't tell me. Yeah, okay, Palm is fine. Alright, cool. This is back to a situation of... Can he kill me with Lee in one turn? Ruination's nice.
Keep your distance.
Alright. So the answer is already pretty much no.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
I think... This is a tough call. This actually might be the smart play. I don't want him healing at all. Which means we'll go for this. See if we can get him to deny, and then we can play the Senna spell.
Concentrated forgiveness.
Nope. Alright.
Witness glory.
Puts him at 7. My darkness is not 7able. Probably has to be this unit. So this might get denied. Nope, didn't get denied. Okay, that's huge.
Faith.
This means I have a very good open attack.
Let my stars guide all travelers onward.
Dannydecks. That's actually really good here. Take out his lifesteal units. And level my Senna. Alright.
I'm here till it's done, and it's never done.
He's being
Darkness and
very
light.
patient with his denies, though. Another palm. Alright. Oh, we definitely full swing here.
To the world below!
I will shape death as easily as clay.
Now I full swing. I actually killed this and full swing. Like, he definitely has nopifies and denies. He hasn't played any. $16 cards to 25.
Sure must be nice, taking things slow.
Alright, well, I'm going to shoot at this. This threatens lethal, and he's either going to have to cast 2. Oh, okay, he's going to go to 1. Alright, he lets that through. Man, this guy is playing on a knife's edge.
Getting dark.
Return anew.
Well, I'm 1 wider than he is, so he needs to play a unit. He's not playing a unit.
Bury fear, bury doubt.
Your attack is obvious.
You must have a
I
third
see
palm?
every move.
Like, what do you have, dude? It's got to be third palm, right?
Your lesson begins.
Definitely third palm.
Ready yourself.
Maybe second heal. He's going back to 1. Yeah, second heal is going back to 1. All right. Man, this game, this is a crazy one. We are getting rid of all of his Eye of the Dragons, though, so he has no more healing. We literally just need to get through for one point of damage and we win. Downside is I could just die to Lee Sin right now.
Keep
That's
your
not good.
distance.
I don't think I'm dying to Lee Sin if he's playing that. Got him. Holy cow, what a game. That was a long one, but we got there. Okay, Riven Fizz OTK. Mr. Kevor. I think this guy was actually rank 1 last season. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure he was a very high rank. We're going to hold on to Veigar. I don't think this deck has a good way to deal with Veigar, and Ruination actually is a pretty great draw, so... If he goes for like a turn 6 OTK, we can get him with the Ruination. Yeah, it's not a great hand. I actually will group shot Fizz if he plays him. He has zero, like he has no 0 mana cards in these regions, so he can't play Fizz on 1. Dark Bulb, I'm still gonna pass. It's Conchologist. That's a tough call. I don't know if I still don't know if I want to play Dark Bulb.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
I don't think this is going to come down to being efficient with darkness, so I'll just wait. Probably a Riven now, which I don't really have a good way to deal with.
I'm Fizz!
So how many spells does Mr. Fizz have? Let's find out. Definitely has 1 from this guy. I could have technically pressured Fizz with Darkness plus Group Shot. Okay.
Deep breath now.
So I want him, like, I don't want him. I obviously want to kill Fizz. But I'd rather, while he's weak, he spends his cards. Because once he gets the Paper Dragon on him, like, that Wrath will be so much more dangerous. So I'm okay with that. And I'm actually going to shoot this Darkness at him, too. See if we can take him out. Unlikely, but possible. Okay, got him. Nice. That's big. Fizz, that's going to slow things down for him. We'll go Veigar. And I really just gotta hope that he doesn't have the OTK this turn. Oh, Conchologist, eh? Wow. Wow, that is insane, man. Jeez. That feels really bad, getting Conchologisted like that. Oh, whatever. Fine. The open attacks, I have Vile Feast. Unless, actually, even if he plays Paper Dragon, I can cast both of these. Yeah. Alright, so we obviously know he has Paper Dragon now. So I cannot play Senna here. I actually will open attack. And let's see what he does before I play Senna. Because I would need to be able to cast Ruination. Yeah, I can always just cast Minimorph, right? I mean, yeah, I can technically just cast Minimorph.
One goes down.
Yeah, that's fine. We got Minimorph. We'll go with this.
Break the
Yeah,
ties
Riven,
that
no
bind.
big deal. So I'll probably just Vengeance this, and I don't Vengeance until he commits to attacking. So if he doesn't commit to attacking, I don't cast Vengeance. And if he plays Fizz, it has to be a Minimorph. So I wanted to have mana for Ruination because Fizz can't stop Ruination at all. I guess technically Spell Shield, but pretty unlikely. So there's the Paper Dragon. I'll ping this, play dumb. Alright, Rope Maker's not bad. Cool.
Fly to them on broken wings.
That's exactly what I want him to do, is commit. So now that he has committed, I have a good Vengeance here.
Violence to end violence.
Yeah, violence to end violence, indeed.
To the world below.
And this is perfect for us. We'll just chump with the spider. So as long as he has no units on the board, he can't really do much with this Paper Dragon. And that's kind of the idea of what we're doing here. Just trying to keep his units off the board as much as possible. This is going to be good, Stilted Rope Maker, because it will reduce the cost of our darkness.
My research.
So I likely just open attack here. Maybe not. Maybe I just play Stilt Rape or a Stilt Raper. Oh god. Stilt Maker, whatever, guys. Stilted Rope Maker. I'm gonna play this instead of open attacking. Putting this at 2 is good. This actually means I can Darkness the Spider and then attack him. But let's see what he plays first. Like, this card is super annoying. Just because, like, you can't get rid of it, right? Like, that's what I think is dumb about this whole attach thing. Is that you just can't get rid of the card. It should go on the board. Like, there's really no counterplay. The counterplay is, like, I'm forced to actually kill this stupid unit. I mean, I'm down to level up Senna.
Turn it against them.
So the only crappy part is
Light the dark.
I'm only gonna have 11, right?
Ready to fire. Darkness and
So
light.
yeah, I only end up with 11 if I bank all this mana right now. So maybe I shouldn't have shot that darkness. Yeah, that's probably just me not playing smart. Because if he has an overwhelm unit or like a fizz, okay, he doesn't. He just has this stupid thing. That's fine. But yeah, if he has like power of friendship or something, then I'm not able to kill this unit. Like with fizz, sorry. If he had a fizz and a power of friendship, then I couldn't deal with fizz because he would just counter spells that target him. Which is why I would have needed 12, right? Because then I could technically break it with vengeance and then Minimorph him. That doesn't even work. All right. Going for it again.
Oh, my dear.
That's a leveled up Senna. Like, he's got to know this isn't going to work. The only card that it works on is Fizz, honestly.
I'm here till it's done, and it's never done. Keep your distance.
Cool. El Pokey Stick, sure. Yeah, if he doesn't put it on the Fizz, then that unit's always going to just be susceptible to removal. However, I've used 2 Vengeances, so I'm in a lot of trouble. And I haven't actually been able to get any darkness stacks. So I'm actually in a bad position. I do have 2 Ruinations, which kind of helps.
Party member down.
So yeah, let's keep his units off the board as much as possible. If he plays Fizz, I literally just instantly Minimorph it. I guess this is okay. It gets sped up to fast, so it's not terrible.
A single empire ruled by the true king.
I mean, I just gotta keep his shit off the board. And if he goes for the Fizz, I have to Minimorph it and hope that he didn't actually get Overwhelm.
Make the hurt your weapon. Not yet.
Okay. That's what I like to see.
I will shape death as easily as clay.
Alright, GG, Mr. Kevor. It was a pleasure. Okay, we got him. So, that deck is a little bit scary. We're lucky he didn't get a second Fizz, but second Fizz would have been trouble. Alright, Mr. 4LW playing, I'm assuming, some sort of, I don't know, combo Yummi deck, silencing stuff. Not sure what he's up to. Not too sure what he's up to, but he's likely to have Mystic Shot. Does he have Mystic Shot? I guess the longer I wait, the more likely he is to have it, right? Yeah, that's fair.
Only I can command darkness.
Yeah, longer I wait, the more likely he is to have it. Oh, he doesn't have it. Okay, wonderful. He knows. That's probably what he was face palming.
I help when I can. Shut up when I can't. Watch your toes.
Okay, this is huge. Alright. It's a big turn. It's a big turn. Alright. Oh, he's probably playing concurrent timelines. That's probably what he's up to. I'm gonna take Wallop though.
Wondrous discoveries await below. She kicks, huh?
And I'm down to trade, dude, so doesn't matter to me. Yeah, he's probably playing concurrent timelines, I bet.
To the world below! Come on! My research!
Fact, I am superior life form.
He probably has Thermo. I'm gonna play around Thermo. This is a good card.
Let us take a peek.
This will be pretty useful, I think.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the roses! Whoa!
Primed and ready.
So yeah, have to assume that he has Thermo.
And here's where I'd paint my constellation.
Rabadon? Rabahoo?
Safety disengaged.
Huh. Alright, that's a pretty good card. That's a pretty good card to get.
Can you improve perfection?
Okay, now that I have a second Veigar, I will play Veigar. So I know he's going to kill this with, you know, something. Double Mystic Shot, get excited, potentially Minimorph, Thermo Beam maybe.
Safety disengaged.
Whoa.
But my plan!
Yeah, that was all part of the plan though. All part of the plan. We needed to get that thing off the board. And I'm down to
Cheer
attack
up
with this.
and smile.
Down to attack with this.
Can you improve perfection? System upgrade.
Reality is just your mind crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly! No fair!
God, this
Can you
card's so
improve
annoying.
Perfection. Safety disengaged.
Work the fabric, minions. Work it.
Alright, that's not good. He's going to be invoking something very spicy, I'm sure. Now, do I get rid of a Vile
Daylight
Feast?
warms the heart and
I probably
lights the
do.
way.
I've already killed 2 Zoes, so pretty good chance he won't have another one. Go with this. We'll get some value going. Generate some value. Mystic Shot. Alright. Works for me.
Out! Strut!
So ordinary.
Okay, cool. I need to get that card off the board. It's been super annoying. He might have...
Back heretic.
Okay, he doesn't have anything. That's good. Maybe a Vi's coming down here? Okay, so he's going to be invoking a win con. That's not good news. The only saving grace to that is I'll have an opening to play Veigar when he plays a Celestial, assuming they're big. So if he plays a big Celestial, I have an opening to Veigar.
needs a drum beat.
I mean, we'll just play this for now. See what's up.
Piltover
There's
Enforcer
Vi.
on the scene.
That's a 2 Vi.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
Oh god.
Bring the spirits.
Tell it to the
Well,
face.
I would like to use that
Oh,
Ruination,
you're
so we're
interesting.
gonna just go hard and then hope that he plays something worth ruinating.
I spilled.
Okay, Goat is not worth Ruination. Pass. I mean, yeah, I'm down to end round, sure. Stolly is nice. This is a good card to get.
The elements bind the living and the dead.
So let me attempt to kill Vi. So he's got a couple big invokes.
She scorned me.
Life is cyclical. Darkness ends.
So yeah, I have to be careful for the couple big invokes that he has. I'm gonna play this out.
God. Yep, I'm flying.
Okay, not cool.
Whoa!
What did he discard? Sky's Descent. Oh man. All right.
Through
I actually attack
conflict,
with this.
We grow.
Down to attack with this. I'll trade it into his Vi.
My path is set.
He doesn't want to trade Vi. That's good with me. Just takes something off the board. Sure.
It wants us.
So like if he goes for the Vi level, I just stun it with Wall Up or I kill it with Vengeance. So I don't know what he's got going on. He discarded the Sky's Descent, so that's a big card that he... Is this considered a Celestial card? Not really sure quite yet. I don't know what else he's played. 7 or more. I'm assuming he got Sky's Descent? I think. He hasn't played what he got from this either. So he's got Celestials in his hand. His hand is basically Celestials, so I have to be careful for that. That was from Starshaping. Okay. Sure, that's not a big deal. Okay, Snack. Alright. Pass. Okay, he's gonna get, I guess, a Yummi. Or a Zoe. Pass.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
And that's a Ruination. And that's a Ruination into a Veigar.
The magic, it calls to me! Witness true power! I want my hat.
I mean, getting the 1 damage in with
Lord
the
Veigar,
Veigar open
you
attack
cannot
isn't really
rush
that big a deal.
perfection.
This is obviously going to die. But now I get the 3 damage from this guy, which is worth it. And we'll make it 4 by pokey sticking. Okay, that's a pretty good drop. As long as I have units. Still have no idea what he's really up to. He hasn't played whatever champion he has in his hand that's buffed. So I gotta be a little bit worried about that. I think I have one more Veigar in my deck. I'm pretty sure he's killed one Veigar so far. How many cards in my deck? I actually think Go Hard is... You know what, we'll take Trixie Tentacles here.
Await below.
This is actually good. Because I'll be able to discard his Zoe.
I'm doing this.
Oh, he got a Super Vi? Okay, whatever. So, my hand is already bigger and better than his, so getting rid of his stuff, pretty good.
Words move
The hell is
hearts
this?
and armies.
I mean... That's 4, so that puts Vi at 3. Alright, we'll try this out.
Enforcer down.
Okay. Well, we should be good for an open attack now, I'd imagine. This thing doesn't buff itself either, so I think we got him. This was a long game, but it was a pretty good game. I had fun. Well, Mr. 4LW, what do you have? He might have like a star shaping or something, so this isn't totally over. And I definitely don't think I killed that. Do I? So if I kill that, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. I'll be 1 off lethal. If I were to waste Vengeance on this, hypothetically, I'd be 1 off lethal, so it's not worth it. So I'm going to go for the exact lethal play. I think it's better to be safe than sorry. And did he quit? I think he might have just left.
Be strong.
So
These are dark times.
I don't know what his deck entails, so I have no idea if leaving was smart, but it feels like I'm in pretty firm control of this game anyways, so I think I got him. Yeah, that's a GG. All right, Mr. 4LW, GG. Nice playing with you. Alright, Nightfall. I haven't really seen this much around, but I think we should be good against it as long as our hand doesn't end up being bricked. This seems pretty good already, honestly. I don't know if I want second Pokey Stick, but that's okay. Really depends on what his turn 1 play looks like. I would like to play Catalyzer on 2, I just need to be careful. Ooh, 2 Catalyzers. Alright, we're in business now. Now we just need to find like a Veigar. Even a Senna. I should have kept Senna maybe. Can he play a 1-mana card that will enable Diana? Maybe. So just in case, I'm not really sure if he can. But just in case he can, I'm not going to play into a Diana. I'll just play it safe. Alright. Sure, this works for me. I mean, he's got a trade here, yeah. So, that's actually just a positive trade for us. Yep, pass. I'm looking pretty good here. That's amazing. So this is going to block into pretty much anything but Nocturne. That even blocks into Nocturne, honestly.
Darkness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, rip your Nocturne.
The fabric minions, work it.
Alrighty, our opponent didn't have the best start, and we had a pretty darn good one, so looking alright. Narstun, hell yeah.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead.
He had 3 of these, jeez, man. Some serious value he's gathering. That's a little bit scary,
Calm mind and open heart greet the night.
but it's not a big deal.
Head, big brain.
So I have enough to double Pokestick this Nocturne down, so I'm just going to swing with everything.
Defiance is our way.
Yeah. So I say double Pokestick because he may have...
My
oh god, Pale Cascade? Yeah. And I'm cool with that. Do I... I'll just hold off for a second. Maybe I leave Nocturne for now. Alright, there's Diana.
The moon is our queen. The night, her kingdom. A new moon.
So if I play
rises.
this...
Seed descends on feeble minds.
Yeah, I think this is good.
It's showtime.
Thinking this is pretty good. Now he's going to be able to kill one for free with Diana, but that's not really a big deal. I mean, alternatively, I can just wallop it and then trade into Nocturne. Okay.
No more lies.
So yeah, I probably just
will
wallop
be
and trade
heard.
with Nocturne. It's probably the way to go. Yeah, this works. We'll keep our stuff alive. Because we're going to be able to play the Ixtali and then just blow his shit up. He's not going to like that. I actually kind of want to keep Nocturne alive because I don't want Nocturne
I will
to be
shape death as
replayed so
easily
he
as
can grant
clay.
vulnerable. I'd prefer that he doesn't do that. That's a toughie. I still think I blast Diana. I think it's the way to go.
Life is cyclical. Darkness ends.
So I'm going to want a Vengeance this next turn, in combination with a Vile Feast or a Pokestick. Oh, Group Shot, that makes it even better. So, now we're looking like we don't care too much about what he does. Eclipse Dragon? Holy jeez, buddy. Alright, so then we'll Vile Feast. That is a Nightfall. Create a random dragon and celestial. Darn. He's getting lots of value, that's for sure. Now, how do I want to deal with this? So my thing's doing 4, so this is
What are you made
probably
of?
best. This is a tough call. I could just Ruinate, but I think I want to kill that. And if I block here,
Stone.
that puts it at 4, which puts it in range of my second Ixtali. That seems okay. Yeah, this seems fine. We are not looking so hot right now, actually. He got some serious value out of those that 1 mana card. The 1 mana card really got him there, that's for sure.
It wants us.
Another Rope Maker.
The elements bind the living and the dead.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
Question here now is, do I want to just kill this so he can't heal? No. I think we always just kill the dragon. Big dragon bad. You could have a third Pale Cascade, but that's actually fine. Oh, he's gonna make an ephemeral copy of it? Yeah, sure, dude.
Make the darkness your own.
So I am down to
Bury
swing with
fear,
everything.
bury doubt.
Well, everything minus the spider.
Insolence.
He's gonna most likely be able to ping this, I'm assuming.
Don't leave.
I'm really just looking to set up a good board to ruinate. Yeah, figured as much. So yeah, I kind of want to make him play into Ruinate now. So by clearing up his board and trading down my board, I can maybe get some value from Ruinate and clear up his hand, because his hand is looking kind of out of control. If I do get a Veigar though, I think I'm going to just win. I don't see how he deals with Veigar unless he's actually running... what's that card? Oh god. Wait a minute, how does he have another one of those?
A new moon
But yeah, I don't
rises.
think he can deal with Veigar unless he has a vengeance. So he's gonna level his Nocturne right now, right? 1, 2, 3. So do I Ruinate now? This is tough. I guess I'll just be greedy. This is kind of greedy. I don't know. Another owl. Okay, so if he's gonna play another owl, I have to kill his shit. Or I have to at least attempt to kill his shit. Now, he might have third Pale Cascade or third Diana, which turns into a Pale Cascade. Nope, he doesn't. Alright, we're good.
No.
Yeah, so we're solid now.
Long road behind, long road ahead.
The Senna is going to do work for us. I'll just take 4 from this. I don't really care. That puts me in quite a predicament. Do I want to take 9? 9 seems like a heck of a lot to take. No, I can't really take 9. Gotta kill Nocturne. And if I'm gonna block this, I might as well block this like that. That makes the most sense.
Make the hurt your weapon.
Okay, we're alright. Pokey Stick is good. But we're gonna just attack in first. Senna's gonna just generate us so much value here. Yeah, I'm down with that. That's great for me. Silence and stuff. Okay. I wonder if I didn't... wish I could look at burst speed cards and see where he got them from. So I obviously have... Oh, I can't even do that. That's a very nice play, friend. Alright. Didn't realize that would stop Senna's ability. That's okay.
Guess that's it.
Because we've actually started to really run his hand down. He hasn't got a whole lot done. Sure.
Fashion forward.
Oh my, Doom Beasts. Lots of Doom Beasts, so we'll just kill one, play the Acolyte, and we won't kill the other one quite yet. I'd like to wait and see what he's up to. But I am getting to Atrocity range, so I need to be careful that I don't get hit with Atrocity. Conchologist is not bad. Alright. This is pretty good, actually. I'll take
Let
this.
us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
Just so I can get additional value. None of this is very good. I guess I'll take Fae 8.
What wondrous discoveries await below.
And we'll just go wide and start attacking him. That's probably the best course of action for us at the moment. Maybe I actually kill this now with the darkness. Probably, right? I want to get a solid open attack, threat, and lethal here. If I keep that on the board, he has a chance to do the activate its Nightfall effect and draw a card. And I really don't want him doing that. Right. That's a great draw. The only problem is I need to lose units for it to work. Okay, got him. GG. That was a pretty interesting match against Nightfall, actually. Normally it's a lot faster than that, and you like sink or swim, but we got him kind of in a long game, and I don't think they want to play the long game against us. Okay, TF and Nami. So TF Nami, this matchup is a little bit wonky. It can go pretty south pretty fast. So I'm not sure what the best keep is. I kind of think I want to find a Catalyzer, but I'll hold on to these. Man, Ruination is so good in this matchup. I gotta just hope that I will hit this. I almost want to keep it. This isn't exactly a fast deck. You know what? I'll drop it, but Ruination is really good in this match. Yeah, so no Catalyzer. At least I have Vengeance, which is okay. Veigar is great here too. They have a hard time dealing with Veigar.
Witness perfection, meatbags.
Do I even play the Acolyte? I guess I do, just to get a unit on board. That way I can open attack and do some damage. It's unlikely that he ever blocks.
Ready. Humanity is obsolete.
I kind of need to kill that. I honestly do. I can't let him have two of these on the board. This card is actually really, really annoying. It gives him infinite, like, discard fodder, Nami spells. I really can't afford to let him have that. That seems like a really bad Ruination, or, the box.
Rise, metal brethren.
This card just gives him so much value in this deck that I can't allow him to just have two.
Ready.
So, most likely a TF coming down. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, see? He basically can do all kinds of funky stuff with it. So he has no way to deal with Veigar. Which means he's going to have to double Mystic Shot or like get excited Mystic Shot. Stuff like that in order to deal with him. So I have to be careful for Nami. Which means I don't actually have to do anything at the moment. Because he can play Nami plus Flash of Brilliance here. And that'll be really bad for me. So I need him to go below. Okay. So he's going to double Mystic Shot this? I'm actually fine with that. I'll just replay Veigar, I think. Now I could just Glimpse. Glimpse better. No, I kind of want to get my Veigar rolling ASAP. I need to get my Darknesses up. And I don't think he runs Thermo. So since I don't think he runs Thermo, I honestly just replay Veigar.
Come here, short Willie. No.
I'm thinking he doesn't run Thermo. Very surprised if he does. I'm pretty sure he runs Get Excited, which he doesn't have the mana to do. And if he runs Thermo and I lose my Veigar, that really sucks, but, you know, hey.
Never lost a fair game.
Okay, so blue card.
Really soak it in.
Sure. I'm down to attack into this, because I can just Pokey Stick it next turn. Yeah, so I'll just Pokey Stick this next turn. What did he discard? It should show you. It's kind of dumb that it doesn't. His Nami is very close to leveling. If he plays Nami, I have to kill it. Okay, so his Nami has leveled. That's bad.
Lady Luck is smiling.
Take the 2. He might be trying to hit me with a Monster Harpoon, but I'm actually not too scared of that. Huh. I'm okay with Monster Harpoon. Because then he just loses his Nami when he plays it without getting it to actually buff anything. So I never Darkness this TF yet. Yeah, there's Monster Harpoon. Alright. Now maybe it is worth doing this now. I will have enough mana that I can play Ixtali and kill his Nami anyways. So this is probably worth doing. Because he's going to have Nami with nothing else on board if he plays Nami now. So while Nami is leveled, it's not as threatening, especially since I get first priority next turn, which will let me play Ixtali, and then he gets to play one unit alongside his Nami, and then I just kill Nami. Or he just, you know, shuffles a bunch of cards in his deck and gets nothing. That's even better. Even better for me. So this is a tough call. I still think I play her, although I kind of want to have mana to Ruinate ASAP. I just might not cast Darkness. Maybe that's just the way I go about doing this turn. Really depends what he's up to, but I just can't let him get like a very solid Nami on board. Like, putting him at 10 HP isn't going to be that helpful here. Alright, what's he fishing for? Maybe he just doesn't have Nami. It's either he doesn't have Nami or he just doesn't want to play Nami because he knows that Nami's going to get hit with Darkness if he does play her. But I don't know if I even want to play Darkness. Okay. Awesome. Double get excited. Mystic Shock get excited. Get excited. Get excited. Oh, so good. So good. I am down with this. And this actually lets me keep Ruination up for next turn, so I'm not going to Darkness that. I'll let him have that card.
No.
So I just want to Ruinate next turn if he plays Nami, right? That's what I'm waiting for. Waiting for him to play Nami so I can Ruinate and then, you know, ruin his day. Oh, okay, he's going for a second one of those. Yeah, I can't really let him have that, can I? Yeah, I'll play Road Maker. Like, he might have the Nami. But he only gets one mana, so you know what? If he has Nami, he's only getting to play one spell. I guess he might have Poro Cannon. That'd have to be a pretty nuts hand for him to be able to play Nami and cast a bunch of spells, so I think I'm good here. So he's got to see the writing on the wall. It's going to be very hard for him to get out of this position here. Catalyzer is nice. I honestly just Catalyzer. I'm in no real rush. Like, he's the one that has to do something here.
Spotlight on me.
So, yeah, especially if he wants to block that with Burblefish. A-okay with me. So there's a Poro Cannon. Alright, so I actually want to play Darkness here. And when he plays his Poros, I just hit him with the box. Or Withering Wail.
Deal me in.
I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna say okay to that. We'll pass. I'd like him to play these Poros. Like, I'm really not afraid of TF. Shelly. Huge. Alright. That's a pretty good box. Okay, this might be a concede. I don't see how he gets out of this one. But maybe, like, I've lost to... Yeah, okay, got him. But I have lost to that deck in situations like that, where it's just like he plays Nami and has, like, the perfect hand. Wasn't one of them, though, that's for sure. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed the longer explanation deck guides. I tried to be more in depth. That way, you know, any good deck or popular deck that's going around usually takes a little bit of piloting and some knowledge, and I think it's very helpful. So if you thought it was helpful too, let me know and I can do some more of them. Maybe suggest which decks you guys are looking to see and learn how to play a little bit better along with tech card choices. So, have yourselves a wonderful day. Stay tuned for more Legends of Runeterra content. T-Dot out!